Hey everybody, I'm Shaq,
And I'm Chris.
and thanks for joining us for another episode of
Let Me Tell You,
where we explore ways to navigate life's transitions and challenges and find motivation to make the necessary changes to live a healthy and full life.
Here's our housekeeping statement. On this podcast, you will hear from social workers, counselors, therapists, and sex coaches. But please remember that we are not your social worker, counselor, therapist, and sex coach. These conversations are for informational purpose only. Please refer to your medical and mental health professional for advice and diagnosis of your specific problem.
And with that being said, let's get into it. In this episode, we're going to talk about why is it so difficult for women to know what their needs are.
Right. Right. Oh,
I just want y'all, like everybody, just pay attention to me, right? When Chris is leading, she has so many words, but when I lead, she always hit me back with the right. Or are you gonna say something else about that?
Man, I'm just trying to. See. What was the question?
Yeah. Why do we as women have a hard time knowing what we need and focusing on our needs?
I think because it takes. I know we always talked about being self-aware and knowing kind of like introspection. I feel like
Ding 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 ding, because there's that word again. Introspection.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's hard to pinpoint something that we need, especially when something else is blaring. Like it kind of makes it like it really doesn't even matter. This still needs attention. I think as women we try to focus on whatever needs the attention the most. And then usually we don't consider ourselves as one of those. The most. Like it might be like our child or our spouse or our partner or our family member or or it could be a job. It could be and since those things are right in front of our hair. Our hair.
That's facts though. Or our hair. Like we take better care of our hair than we do our mental, emotional, physical, spiritual being. Like we will make sure we know how to lock lotion, oil, and cream our hair.
Right.
Before we'll know how to relax, restore, repeat for our own mental capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that. Rest, restore, repeat. Rest, restore, repeat. Rest, restore, repeat. Like we don't rest.
We don't. And it's like we feel bad if we do.
Why? Why do we feel bad?
You feel like if I'm sitting, like if I'm taking a day off and I'm doing nothing, like I was never able to do that. I mean, I am now, and that's only recently. But like just taking a day without like, oh, I'm taking this day off so I can go to this appointment, or I can go to this place, or I can go fix, do whatever I gotta do. Just taking a day just to do nothing all day.
Yeah.
Just to lay in the bed,
read a book,
watch TV, eat some good food, and just recharge. And it's like when people think about doing, it's like, oh, you feel as if like you don't deserve that. Like,
ooh.
Maybe sometimes that could be what you need.
Let's go back. Why do we feel like we don't deserve rest?
Oh, it's a waste of time. Oh, I could be doing this, or I could be doing that, or I could be making dinner for whatever. I could be, whatever. Like all the things that you feel like you could be do because you feel like you need to be productive. Now, I'm not saying all people feel like this, but some people do. Like they have a hard time just taking a break for themselves because they need to be productive at all times. Like you need to be doing something.
Yeah.
Actually, reminds me of a quote I put up. I don't know if it was yesterday, the day before, and I was saying, and it was said that we are human beings, not human doings. Like,
that was good.
Yeah, like and that was not me. That's Dalai Lama.
Oh,
but I would love to take credit for that, but that was not my personal quote.
That was the Dalai Lama. Okay.
But he was saying that humans were created initially just to be, just be. Yeah. And it's us being in a more commercialized, more whatever kind of culture that we feel as if we need to do to either be loved, to be important, to be accepted, to be
a part of something.
Like we have to keep doing if we want to keep our status. We have to keep doing. But the thing is, you keep doing. Who has time to think about what you actually need in that moment?
Yeah.
So you start going without, and it might not be without material possessions or people actually present in front of you, but it could be going without in other areas that not as easily as seen. Some areas that you need to sit down with yourself and to be in introspection have to go on for you to even figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Because you've been going so long, you don't know what you need anymore. You just know you feel something's missing.
Yeah.
You feel a hole. You feel a void.
Yeah.
But you don't know what's supposed to go in there.
Yeah. So you go searching
for stuff.
And you don't even know what you're searching for.
Stuffing it with stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it gets emptier, and you feel emptier because all the things you're stuffing with aren't fixing it. So you're like, I put all this stuff in there, and I still feel empty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something's wrong with me now.
Yeah.
So now you feel even worse.
I feel like society is moving us so fast, and we're losing connection. So in a prior podcast, we talked about friendship, but we're losing connection. Families are moving further apart.
Right.
Cousins aren't growing up together. Kids are more inside on electronics now, so they're not even interacting with one another in a physical form or physical sense, where they're playing kickball, volleyball, and all the things that we did when we were a kid, hide and go seek. And so it's this idea like there's such like just keep so now you because you don't have that, you don't get that reassurance in who you are as a living being that you would get from that camaraderie. There is no you have no clue as to who you are. But society says if you work hard, you can get this car. If you work hard, you can get this kind of house. If you work hard, you can get long hair. If you work hard, you can get the nose job. You can get the boob job. And so now you're working hard to present a certain way, but you're still empty because that connectivity is really what you're looking for. You're doing all of those things because society tells you if you do those things, it'll bring people to you, but it's bringing people to you for the wrong reasons. And so you're doing all of this outside stuff, looking better on the outside, getting all the nice things because you want to draw people in. But then when people get to know you, you're nasty. And then now it's like, okay, but you're nasty because you're lonely.
Yeah.
You feel empty inside. You feel like you have no purpose. You can have the best job in the world and still feel like you have no purpose. But we don't want to feel the feels. We don't want to slow down and take the moment to figure out who we are. You know what? And I think part of it is because we're afraid that we're going to recognize that all the things that we put time and energy into, we really don't give a damn about. And then it's going to force us to make a decision. We can either continue in this vein and just acquire things, keep trying to look good on the outside, be empty on the inside, or we let it go. And now we focus more on what is needed internally so that we can feel whole, so we can love ourselves and tend to ourselves. And then we draw people who are like-minded to us, or we start looking for people who have that level of confidence, of self-assurance, of reassurance, know who they are, and are able to work outside of that. Because I feel like you have people who are empty on the inside and have all the things, but are lonely and hurting. But then you have people who are full on the inside, like they know who they are, they're self-assured, they have a good support system, and they have some of all the things that you have.
Right.
So then so for me, that tells me like, oh, I can still accomplish my goals. I can still reach my dreams. But in order for me to know what I really want, where I really want to end up, what I really want to have, I have to spend some time with myself. I have to figure out who I am, what I want, what's important to me.
Yeah.
Where do I fit in this story, right, of my life, and how I want to live that out.
Yeah. And this has me thinking about this quote that someone put on Twitter. I don't remember who it was, but they said, "While I focus so much energy on ridding myself what doesn't serve me, I forget to replace with something that does." Ooh. So you're getting rid of all these things that are not, important, that are not benefiting, that are draining you, whatever. Yeah, get rid of all this stuff, all these people, all these things, all these activities. But then at the end of the day, you don't replace it with anything. Yeah. So then you're left lonely. Yeah. You're left bored, and God knows what happens when someone gets idle hands. Yeah. And you're left feeling sometimes worse than you was before you got rid of all the leeches and all parasites and all stuff that you got rid of. You got to replace with something. Just like when someone who's starting a new healthy eating lifestyle. Like you're getting rid of all the candy bars and the chips and the cakes and the cookies and the fried foods and all that stuff. And then you're left with salad. Yeah.
No dressing, no croutons, fruit. No chicken, no shrimp.
And not the good sweet fruit, the cantaloupe and melon. Fruit that nobody really even likes.
Just dry salad. And not even spinach. It's just what is it called? What's that? The lettuce, just iceberg.
Iceberg lettuce with some vinegar.
Yes.
But that ain't gonna sustain you, sis.
It's not.
It's really not. Or whatever. That's not gonna sustain you. Not. That's something that's gonna be very temporary. You're gonna get rid of all that stuff for 2 weeks and you're gonna be back on it.
Oh yeah.
But if you got rid of all that stuff and replaced it with healthier options, baked chicken,
shrimp,
seafood, fish.
Yes, fish.
All different kinds of different recipes.
Lamb.
All
good old neck bones.
Stuff. Neck bones. Collard greens without all the extra lard.
Macaroni and cheese.
Without the
candy yams.
Without the sugar.
What we're talking about
healthy. All right. No. We're talking about healthy.
Yeah.
Macaroni and cheese without the pasta.
Yeah.
And the cheese. But you got to replace it with something that's going to feed you. And I know we're talking about physically feeding, but in that aspect, feed your soul. Like, you can't just remove all this stuff, remove all these people, and not have anything else to take the spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot dump something and have nothing to replace. You have to be willing to sit with yourself, to know who you are, and respond to life out of that. Respond to life out of that flow. Something one of my friends said today. She said, people don't realize that believing in God is just about living your everyday life faithfully. It's not like a lot of people think magic and whatever I want, I get. And I know people like, I proclaim it and declare it. And no, like you're not commanding God anything. No. But when she said it, it seemed so simple. It was like clarity. It was like a glass of water, like refreshing water. It's like, it's really about the everyday. So starting your day off from a perspective that you know who you are, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know your likes, you know your dislikes. You know what your hopes are, your dreams are, you know what you're looking forward to, you know what you don't want to deal with. Starting your day off from that perspective and living your life out of that, I feel like means that we have less phoniness. Yeah. More people being their authentic selves and showing people who they truly are, a space where they can be vulnerable and can be accepted by folks. Right. And then they can accept other folks for who they are. So it's this idea of like, it's not even an idea, folks. Like, ladies and gentlemen, all I'm saying to you is that who you are, how you feel, and what you desire matters. But before somebody else can tell you, nobody else can tell you. Right. Nobody else can spend enough time with you and figure it out for you. So you have to figure it out for yourself and you let other people know that. And it can be a letting them know about how you live your life. You may not ever have to say a word, but one thing I know for certain, that I can come to Chris and I know that she's going to be honest. I know that if I say something about money, she's going to ask me a series of questions. Did you think through this? Did you think through that? Did you try this? Did you try that? I know that for a fact because I know the type of person she is. She's not going to just be giving out her money to anybody. She's not going to just be buying expensive things. She considers where her dollar is going, how much it's going to cost her, where that money is going to have to come from, and she's trying to find the best value. Right? I know that about her. So I can go to her and answer those questions because I know that about her personality. That is true to who she is as a person. So I know that she cares about how she spends her money. That's part of what makes her who she is. So I know I'm not going to convince her to buy a pair of $50 panties because first of all, you hear that laugh? Like, absolutely not.
$50 panties. Did they wash themselves? Shoot, $50.
Yes. But my point is that I know that about her because of how she lives her life. She never had to say to me, Shaq, I care about money. I'm not going to spend my money this way. I see the way she spends money. I see the thought she puts behind how she spends the money. That is true to her personality. It's true to the things that she cares about. So what I'm saying to you is that you have to get with yourself and understand what you care about, what's important to you, so that you can live out of that. That means that the choices that you make is going to come out of you knowing what's important to you.
And I was gonna say, I was watching Daddy's Little Girls the other day. Watching, not watching.
That's what our boyfriend Idris Elba. That's what the fine.
Oh yes. My ex-husband is in that show. Didn't work out.
No, I'm so sorry.
If my husband's listening, I did say ex. Before you. I'm just kidding. So anyway, I was watching the show, and it's like in the beginning, her friends, Gabrielle Union, I forgot her name in the show, on the movie, they were told like, all you need is a man, or you need a man this, you need a man that. But did she really need a man? I think what she needed, because she expressed what she needed to him in one of the scenes, she needed to get over or to look at how she got out of a really bad relationship. And I think that was blocking her from even entertaining any other man. Right. So it wasn't that she needed a man. She could easily get a man.
Right.
She was attractive. She had money. She could have got a man.
Yeah.
What was blocking her is her, I guess, expectations of what that said man might do. Yeah. How they might affect her as far as, her emotions again. How she put her whole heart into someone she was very vulnerable with. And they totally, I think she said that she was with the same dude for 6-7 years, and then he had the day they broke up, he got married to a woman the next day. The next day, after they broke up, he's marrying another woman that he's been with the entire time they were together. Wow! And that's why she hadn't been with another man since then, because she still hadn't got over that, and that's trauma right there.
Oh
that's
yeah, absolutely.
You built a home with this person. You built dreams and hopes and wishes. You put all your whatever in this person, and they did you like that, and you're supposed to just jump. Oh, you need a man. That's all you need is a man. No, she don't need a man. She needs some therapy.
Absolutely.
she needed to process that.
Yeah.
Because if she didn't, she would take all that bitterness that she had and put it in that next person. Yeah. So she needed to look into herself, do some introspection about what she needed.
Yeah.
And she was able to, express that to him. Like, I need someone to really just love me, to be faithful, so I could trust them, that doesn't lie to me. Yeah. Like, she really was able to voice what she needed in that situation in that relationship. Yeah. And it was difficult, because telling someone what you need also requires you to be vulnerable again.
A level of vulnerability. Yeah.
You know, because you don't want them to say, "Okay, I'll do that for you," and they don't do it. Oh, that's stupid. Why you want that? That's dumb. You know, it's a lot of stuff that can happen when you start sharing stuff like that. And to actually sit with yourself to even to get those things out there, because you kind of beat yourself up before you even let the words come out your mouth.
Yeah. Or you go back and you be rethinking about the whole conversation in your head, like, why did I say that? I shouldn't have said that. This might have made me look weak. This might have made me look vulnerable. This might have made me look thirsty. It's really not about that. It's really about you. Oh, like just owning who you are. Really, that's what we're saying. Like, you gotta own who you are, own what your needs are, and be willing to voice that. And people who can't handle it, honestly, is like deuces. I know that's easier said than done, but it's like, what else are you gonna do when you're sharing your heart with somebody and they can't handle it? Mm-hmm. You're gonna just continue to let them be controlling or control you, or you're going to keep yielding to them and they're not yielding to you, or you going to at some point take control over who you are, your own desires, and what you want. As you was talking, it made me think about our strong friends. Right. Like, we like to talk about our friends being strong, but they're not really strong. They're just stuffing, and they don't feel like they have a space where they actually can say, I don't want this, or this thing is really hard. It's like, we should check our friendships. I know we just talked about friendships, but we need to check our relationships, because I feel like if we're ever in a situation where we feel like we can't just say the hard thing because it may be too hard for other people to hear, then we don't have freedom to be honest and to be vulnerable. And so we never really get to live out of our true selves, because we got to keep hiding parts of that. Yeah. So we gotta be willing to get into relationships where we can vulnerably share, be open with people, and know that we're with safe people and safe spaces to be able to say the hard things that people may not want to hear. But this is how I'm feeling. It reminds me of what's the shit? Mary, the singing group. Yeah. When she found out her husband was cheating on her, and she was like, "What, man? What he gonna do? He just gonna keep breaking my heart every day. Every day he's coming out something new." Her sister was like, "I know." She was like, "What? I love God. I can't be mad." She was angry, and she needed to have permission to be angry, not feel like, "Oh, well, you're a Christian, but so you can't be acting like this because you're on TV." No, I'm a human being. Yeah. And I just found out my husband cheated on me, not with one woman, but multiple women. While I'm out there on the road trying to build something for our family, he is being dishonest, and I have to find out about it. Yeah. Not all at one time. My heart is broken. Yeah. But now he's coming out over multiple times and telling about other women. I can't take it. And you want me to pretend like because I'm a Christian, I don't feel that? So now she's mad at her sister. Why? Because her sister didn't create a safe space for her. She was probably more concerned about, this is on live TV. People are going to watch this. People need to watch it. Yeah. Because Christians go through hard things. They do. Just because we got Christian as a title or believer as a title don't mean that we don't face hard things. So she needed to say, I don't care. My husband cheated on me. He broke my heart, and he's continually breaking my heart, because every time I talk to him, he tells me about a different woman. Yeah, they're still together. They did a whole album together and went on tour together, because that was the answer. It wasn't just whatever his infidelity was. And I'm sure they probably behind the scenes worked on, or hopefully are working on, because, they're still together. Whatever his issues were surrounding the fact that he was the stay-at-home dad and his wife was the one. I'm sure, like, as a therapist, I'm thinking, like, I'm sure that there were a lot of self-esteem issues with her husband being home taking care of the kids, and she's out there on the road traveling, right? I'm sure to some level it could have felt emasculating, right? I'm supposed to be the breadwinner. I'm supposed to be the provider, but I'm home taking care of the kids. My wife is out there traveling. She's making more money than me. I don't know if those are still like issues that men face today, worrying about if a woman is making more money than
some
them.
do. Some do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
some men are, you know, more old school than others, and they feel as if the man needs to be the head of the household financially and every other legally that there is. But you know, that situation that you described, maybe it started from him not really feeling comfortable to share what he needed, or not really knowing what he needed.
Yeah.
You know, and ended up searching for it
in other places.
Yeah.
And I mean, to the point where they stopped doing Mary Mary because she felt like I needed to stay home and tend to. And this is what I'm talking, that emotional, manipulation. Is like, now I can't go out on the road. I can't still do Mary Mary with my sister because I gotta be home because my husband is wayward.
And maybe they just needed some time to be together for a season.
Yeah.
You know, so but you're right.
Yeah, I want to say respectfully. Like, I don't know nothing about their life. I don't know what's going on behind doors.
Maybe she just needed a break.
Yeah.
You know, just to you know, spend time with her family, with the children, and with her husband.
Because I'm sure working so much, right?
Like, you know, it's a lot.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a lot.
It's draining on you. It's draining on the people that are around you, and you know, sometimes you just need vacation. And sometimes vacation needs to last more than a week. It might be a 3-month vacation.
Yeah, facts. Yeah,
you know, to rebuild everything that might have been.
Yeah.
You know, and a relationship has to be strong to get through all that and still make it. I think I applaud anyone who is able to get through something like that and remain intact and be able to forgive and to, you know, never bring up most of the time. You know, I think that definitely takes a lot of. I'm sure they must have went to couples counseling or something like that.
I'm sure they've done.
I'm sure they probably, you know. And but yeah, back to what we were talking about, like asking for what you need.
Yeah.
You know, at pinpointing what that is.
Yeah.
And being vulnerable enough to share it.
Yeah. And why you want to do certain things, thinking about that situation is like, well, do you really need to be on the road traveling this amount of time? There's a guy, Toby Nwigwe. I really like him. He's a rapper. But everything he does with his family. His wife and his kids are always in his videos. They're on stage with him.
Cute.
And but he said because he's in control of his own career, he don't do more than one show a week. And he's like, I can set it up like that because I'm in control of my own career. Because what I understand is what my wife needs is me to be available for her when she's home all day, taking care of our kids, taking care of our home, taking care of all of our needs. He made that distinction, which made me think, feel free to answer it or not. Is there something that you felt like you needed? Two-part question, that you feel like you have received and that you feel like you still haven't received? And I can start with that. So in my marriage, I feel like something I felt like I needed is affirmation, like that I am good. But I understand that it comes from my trauma and always being told that I was basically not good enough. It was always the messaging. So because of that messaging, I'm always looking to be affirmed. So I struggle with having self-confidence, and I don't say it a lot, but a lot of my friends notice it. Like when we talked about doing this, you didn't make a move until it was like, okay, if Shakora is serious, she's gonna start doing stuff. But I ain't doing nothing until Shakora do something.
Because otherwise I'll end up in Las Vegas by myself. Yes. Sidebar, y'all. Inside joke.
Facts, though. It's that insecurity it comes up, like things that I thought I worked through, but it comes up every now and then I get scared, feeling like I'm not good enough, and then I pull back. And my husband recognized that about me, and he's always tried to push me to deal with it. You have to do something. Why are you scared? You have the education, you have the experience, you need to just go ahead and do. And so, in that sense, it's like, okay, he supports me in that, but he has a hard time affirming. He doesn't do that very well. And that is something that I do feel like I need from him, because we're so close, because I share so much intimacy with him. And it just make me feel better for him to affirm me more. And and his way of affirming is, well, I'm going to put money behind what you need. And it's like, I'm grateful for that money, but if we didn't have the money, how could you affirm me? And that's the part that I'm looking for. So that's the one thing that I feel like I need, that I realized about myself, that we recently had a conversation about. And then something that I feel like I need, that I'm definitely getting, is his support. He does believe in me. So he constantly tells me, I think you're going to do great. Um, but there's always a but. But you need, which then speaks to my insecurity from my trauma, and then that insecurity come up, and then I get myself entangled into a web of a whole bunch of stuff that I don't have the capacity for. Now I feel bad about myself, and I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling like I'm disappointing everybody, and I'm not on top of things, and then I just go down this spiral. So I had to figure out, well, what is it that I really want? I really want to help people. That's really what I want to do. What I understand now is that I don't have to have 5,000 things to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I can do it with or without the affirmation.
Yep.
But I've had to sit with myself. You've even had to say to me sometimes, like, I've had to hear it. Like, what are you doing? Come on, let's go. Like, you got the education. Why are you feeling this way? Let's go. Let's move. Let's do something. So it's like, oh, okay, accepting that, and then living from that, living out of that.
Yeah. Those are great examples. So great that I think we're gonna. Right there.
The point being, ladies and gentlemen, introspection.
Yes. Introspection. Starting by tuning into your own body, pinpointing what you actually need.
Yeah.
Asking yourself for what you need, and asking others.
Being vulnerable enough to let others know.
Asking them for what you need.
Setting boundaries.
Yep.
Right? Because I need this. You may not understand it, but this is what I need. I'm setting a boundary right here for this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, don't stop at just realizing what you need. You got to tell people. Because if you don't tell people, they're not just gonna read your brain and know what they need to give you. Yeah, they're not mind readers. You gotta let people know. Yeah. Give them that benefit of the doubt. Help a sister or brother out.
Yeah.
So
but you gotta know yourself first.
Yep, and that takes the most work.
And you need to know. You can't be guessing and then having people like yo-yos going back and forth, because people get tired of that.
They do.
Yeah. They do.
So, not saying be perfect, you have to be sure, but, do your homework, do what you need to do.
What are some good ways to be able to capture that information? Something I thought about was like journaling.
Yep, journaling. That's good.
Yeah.
Journaling. Yeah. You can do that electronically or by hand.
Old school. Yeah. Yeah.
I always love a good, nice, pretty journal and a good pen.
Oh, yeah.
Writing things out. So, but, other people might want to do like an electronic type journal situation, which that's cool too.
Or audio, like you can record yourself.
Oh yeah,
you could definitely record yourself. Audio if journal. You want to write, you can record Zoom video. You can record yourself audibly. You can do a video. You can capture it through the journaling. What are some other things they can do to, as they sit back and consider who they are,
process how they're feeling with someone that they trust.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let that be a friend or a counselor or family or whatever.
Oh yeah. So if you don't have a therapist, definitely, if you can afford it, get one. But if you can't, if you have a really good friend or cousin or auntie, or you want to go to one of those people who you feel like you can share with vulnerably.
Yeah.
Even if you're a part of a church, you can talk to one of your lay people. Those things are free. Definitely. Journaling is free. Zoom recording is free. Audio recording is free. Talking to a good friend or trusted friend or family member is free. Yeah. Going to your practitioner is free. Mm-hmm. Going to see a therapist is not so much free, but some therapists have sliding scales. So you can do that. Sometimes
there's hotlines that are available. Hotlines, yes. So yeah, you just got to do some research, and you'll definitely be able to find something.
Yeah, so there's definitely resources out there for you. The ones that you probably can get today is you can go into my favorite place on earth, Target.
Oh, I thought she was going to say the word of God. She said Target.
Get you a nice journal and pen, and start right there.
Yes.
Get you a nice journal and pen and start right there. That's something you can do today.
Yeah.
But do it today. Don't wait. Don't waste any more time trying to figure out what your needs are. So that way when people ask you what do you need, you have a real response.
Right.
Even if that response is nothing.
Nothing right now. But thank you for asking.
And on that note, until next time, live a healthy and full life. We ain't always on point, y'all. She can't really read my mind. We need a teleprompter. And on that note, and I always say end on that note before we say live a healthy and full life. But you make sure that you live a healthy and full life. Deuces.
Bye, y'all. Thank you for listening to another episode of Let Me Tell You with
Shaq
and Chris. We will bring you another episode next Wednesday at 7 p.m. To get notifications and to listen to past episodes, please follow and like us on Instagram at lmtu.sc, on Facebook and YouTube at Let Me Tell You. And of course, if you're listening to us on Podbean, make sure to follow us. Lastly, let me tell you to live a healthy and full life.